Good evening and welcome inside Clare Drake Arena. Friday night action between the University of Alberta Golden Bears and the University of Calgary Dinos. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, joined alongside Patrick Puff as we get set for tonight's action. A little Battle of Alberta this weekend. A home-and-home set between the Dinos and the Golden Bears. And the Dinos, they're rolling into Clare Drake Arena in pretty good shape. 5-1-0 to start the season for Mark Howell's crew. That has them not only first in their division, but first in their conference. For the Golden Bears, a record of 4-2 on the year. That is albeit not bad as a whole, but Ian Herbert's team, Pat, is looking to have a bit of a bounce back from what we saw last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the first two teams they played, we mentioned in the last broadcast, maybe C, B tier, but UBC came here last weekend and took the boots to them. 5-1 on Friday, 5-2 on Saturday. They were forechecking hard, they were hitting hard, and it just felt like they were getting in the face of the Golden Bears, and these Calgary Dinos are going to be no different. This team has a lot of threats. They're quick, they're hard hitting, and if Alberta wants to keep their record on the positive or above 500, they're going to need to take one, if not both, of these games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple of wins, you're right, would put them back into first place and would ease any sort of concerns or questions that last weekend may have brought up. Two teams that are exceptional at keeping pucks out of their net. And on that note, let's give you your starting goalies and your starting lineups for this evening, starting with the Calgary Dinos, where Carl Tedachuk will get the start and put his perfect 3-0 record on the line. A dazzling 2.33 goals against average on the blue line. To kick things off for the Dinos is Sean Strange on a pairing with Connor Horing. Up front, Max Stewart centers a line that has Jake Poole on the right side and the captain, Adam Kidd, on his left wing. For the University of Alberta Golden Bears, it is Ethan Kruger, the veteran goaltender, getting the start. He is 2-1 on the year with a 2.52 goals against average. The rest of the Golden Bears starting lineup is as follows. The captain, Dawson Davidson, who is the Golden Bears' lone player in the top 10 in scoring and of course leads the team in points with 9, all of them assists. Aiden Yakimchuk is his partner, the St. Albert product. Up front, Sam Popowich will center Tyson Laventure and Adam Hall. Laventure, Hall, two of the goal scorers from last weekend for the Golden Bears. And Pat, one thing, again, I talked about how keeping pucks out of their net, it's not been an issue for Alberta, even with the 10 spot over the 2 games against UBC last weekend. But finding consistent offensive pressure and consistent chances, that's a key tonight.
Absolutely, and we mentioned in the past their defense is their strength. I mean, a couple rookies on the front end who have had great appearances so far this season, but the real strength for the Golden Bears is the defense. Dawson Davidson, there's a lot of veteran players, Ward, Gustafson on the back end that keep pucks out of the net and help Ethan Kruger. They've done that, only 7 goals against in 4 games, but last game they got exposed. I mentioned when the UBC was pressuring in the defensive zone, U of A got a little scrambly. They can't get the puck out, and the UBC controlled the neutral zone. So we're going to see today what they can do. They're going to have to get pucks deep. They're going to have to be the aggressors. They're going to have to be forechecking hard, hitting hard to get in the face of Calgary, because if they don't, Calgary's going to come right back.
Last time these two teams were here at Clare Drake Arena, it was the Canada West playoffs in 2025, and it was Alberta coming out on top, winning that series in 3 games. They will look to continue that success against the Dinos here tonight. We're going to step aside for our anthems, and when we come back, puck drop between the Dinos and the Golden Bears. Friday night hockey between the University of Alberta and the University of Calgary. The home side, the Golden Bears, going from your right to left, rocking their golden alternates with the green and white trim, and it's the always rare color on color matchup tonight, Pat. It's beautiful looking at the ice here at Clare Drake Arena. Calgary going in their red jerseys with the black, white, and yellow trim. The Dinos 5-1 on the year. The Golden Bears 4-2. Your officials for tonight, your referees are Braden Arcand and Colin Watt. Your linesmen are Devin Kohlhauser and Dylan Leaney. Couple seconds away from puck drop here at Clare Drake. It's a weekend home and home between these two sides, putting the miles on the bus, which is not something they always did, as Alberta wins the first face-off of the game, and we are underway. Tyson Laventure will hit the center line, throw it into Adam Yakimchuk, who had some space and threw one on net that Tedachuk handled with ease. Poole now has it. Poole's going to carry it up to the neutral zone and chip it to Stewart. Stewart to the middle. Strange dumps it in. Out to stop it is Kruger. No Drew Sim on the bench tonight. Ethan Barwick will serve as the backup for Alberta. Sim has some excellent numbers on the season as well, but I mean, Kruger's no slouch. He's been between the pipes for the Golden Bears a lot over the last number of seasons.
Both teams utilizing both goalies. We've seen in the past the Golden Bears had, you know, kind of a one goalie rotation going on, but this year, even Calgary, I mean, 3 games for Karl Stankowski and 4 for Tedachuk. This will be his 5th, so we'll see. I mean, it's probably good for rest, especially on these road trips.
What are the odds that both your goalies are named Carl is my point. Both of them excellent starts to the season. Each Calgary netminder top 5 in save percentage, or sorry, top 5 in goals against average and top 10 in save percentage in Canada West. Alberta's got it set up at the line. Thacker walks around a couple of dinos, leaves it off to the side for Ward, who pushes it down low. Flinging one towards the crease was Alberta. And then the Dinos just being a little cautious with it, shovel it out to safety and go off for a change. Each side putting some fresh skaters on the ice here.
Yeah, you're right. Both color jerseys look straight up here, but you gotta wonder down there on the ice when it's moving so fast, it's gotta be a little different than what you're used to.
Especially with how big the green shoulders are on Alberta. Like, again, the yellow's not super contrasting, or is super contrasting, but the green almost throws you off. Here's Klept catch behind the line to the top. Sexsmith takes a shot, not a lot on it, and it got blocked. Turned over. Here's Jolly. Jolly to catch. Backhand goes just wide. First good look of the night goes to the Golden Bears as to catch slid a backhander just wide of the net. Sexsmith shot blocked again. Once again, didn't have a ton on that one. Here's Calgary behind their own net and working it up. Another just sort of shovel play. Calgary hasn't really completed a pass coming out of their own zone yet in this one. Here's Duguay with a shot. Rebound. They score! Dylan Ruptash on the doorstep. 1-0.
His first goal as a Golden Bear. Dylan Ruptash with patience on the doorstep. Big rebound. They always teach us, shoot for that far pad, wait for that rebound. That's exactly what Duguay did, and Ruptash finds it, takes a second, handles it, and roofs it over Karl Tedachuk for the lead. 1-0 Golden Bears.
First as a Golden Bear for Dylan Ruptash. The rookie forward finds the back of the net, neatly scooping up that rebound. And you're right, Pat, just a perfect pass off that far pad. And Alberta's looking for more, actually. McGregor just lost that one off the rush. Here's Steinke. Steinke to the middle. Davidson had to pinch up to stop that rush. Here's McGregor. McGregor to his backhand, and Alberta's working it in. It's the captain, Davidson. Davidson on his backhand, driving in wide. shelters it from a Dino, back to his partner Yakimchuk. He takes a shot, and that got through a couple of bodies up top in the offensive zone, and then just got blocked at the last moment. Hall leaves it for Gustafson. Gustafson, his shot goes off his own teammate in Laventure and all the way down the ice. That allows Calgary to get some tired players to the bench. Hall with speed, one hand shovel into the corner, and he's going to go apply some pressure onto Horning, who was the first one back. Horning knocked it over to his partner Wyatt Wilson, turned over, top of the zone. Mason Ward takes a shot that gets deflected up and out of play.
Well, that first Ruptash goal is just so massive for the Golden Bears. A tough opponent comes to town. You're at home. You know you had a rough weekend last weekend. You want to get on the board early. That's exactly what they did. Get the team into it. Get the crowd into it. Give yourself a little bit of hope. I mean, it's been all Golden Bears so far. As you mentioned, Calgary struggling to make a pass, but getting on the board early is going to be huge in this one.
Face off, one back by Alberta. Here's Gustafson on the pass. That one gets deflected, goes just wide. Good play by Justin Hall. And man, Alberta's forced some turnovers here early on. As a long shot rebound, and Tedachuk did not see that rebound attempt. He was just in the right spot to keep it out. But again, a broken stick there for a Dino means Alberta was able to move the puck around a little bit, and it resulted in yet another quality look.
Yeah, this one could have went in for the same price. Tedachuk did not see that one. If Peterson could have just roofed that one over the pad, it might be 2-0 right now.
Sexsmith hustling back. He's got Poole on him. Tries to turn off a pass, but couldn't quite do so effectively. Horning now rims it down low to Poole. As the line of Poole, Stewart, and Kidd head out there. Without a doubt, Calgary's most dangerous offensive trio. To the line, long wrister, blocked up top. That was Thacker getting in the lane. That puck whacked off the boards. Top of the zone, Horning. Errant pass, and a nice play by Thacker in his own end, spinning to find Peterson, and Alberta gets its own change in. Here's Strange, coming off a good weekend, racked up a lot of shots, and Calgary's sweep of Manitoba. More on that in a moment. To the middle, missed its intended target, so that'll go for icing. Dinos last weekend taking both games off of the Manitoba Bisons. One of them pretty close, a 5-4 win, and then they wrapped up the weekend with a 4-0 victory that featured a 32-save shutout of Carl Stankowski that weekend as well. 9 goals total, 7 different goal scorers for Calgary, so they had the depth going on the offensive front. Horning and Kidd, the only 2 players with multi-goal performances on the weekend. So lots going right in their series against the Bisons. To the top of the zone. McGuire, a long shot, scooped up by Kruger, and he'll hold on for a whistle.
Yeah, the Bison, you mentioned, having a good year so far, even when they came here to Clare Drake. It was a close one. They put up a fight. It was close all the way up into the end. Golden Bears scored with 1:30 on the clock for the go-ahead goal, and they're going to be a sneaky one. They're not a team to count out.
Steinke called into the face-off circle here, snaps one back. McGuire backpedals, takes a long wrister that got deflected. McGregor coming through with the glove, makes a nice defensive play. Knocking that loose puck away. Now here's Yakimchuk, who stumbles and is now struggling to get the puck up ice. McGregor once again there for support. He'll rim it around to Davidson, who pushes it out to the neutral zone. Ruptash forces a turnover. He's got Duguay in front, and that pass just didn't quite connect. Gustafson now walking into the zone. Cuts below the goal line, throws one in front, misses everybody, and now we got a real big scrum in front. I think it's Ruptash and a Dinos defender. There was a big blow at the end here from McGuire, and I wouldn't be surprised if McGuire's getting an extra. Initially, it was just the 2, both Ruptash and McGuire, but It is going to stay as coincidentals.
Yeah, battle for position in front of the net. We'll take a look at it here. Just both going back and forth. Bit of a judo throw there by the Dino.
I thought that one there would get him an extra.
The extra right. I agree. I mean, hard for the ref from his angle to catch that one, but easily could have been an extra.
They're discussing something here. I think it's where the face-off goes. And it's going to go to the other side of the ice. So in the neutral zone.
And I mean, this to be expected, not in the same division, but Calgary, Edmonton, always a bit of a rivalry. It doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter what. There's always a bit of rivalry there.
Yeah. That's funny, you know, you brand it Battle of Alberta because it's Calgary, and Alberta obviously plays in Edmonton here. But it's like, oh, there's Mount Royal, and there's McEwen, and there's a lot of battles of Alberta.
Yeah.
But this is the OG, if you want to call it that. Couple of experienced coaches. Herber's in his 10th season. Mark Howell in Calgary, 15th season. It's Herber's who's had the upper hand in their head-to-heads. Ian Herber's career against Calgary, a .667 winning percentage, but this is the 436th meeting between these two teams, which is a crazy number. Calgary on the cycle, 13:39 remaining here in the first. Pakala leaves a hard drop pass for Wilson. Wilson now to the point. And turned over. Hall gets it up and all alone. Laventure one-on-one scores! Laventure slips it home. 2-0 Golden Bears.
Not going to get a lot of opportunities like that, and Laventure capitalizes his 4th of the season, which is amazing. Breakaway from the blue line, great job of handling that one, turning around, getting in tight, and just slips it 5-hole on Tedachuk. The big celebration here on a Friday night. It is 2-0 for the Golden Bears.
2-0 early on for Alberta. And boy, isn't that a bit of a sigh of relief after the offensive struggles of last weekend. I mean, they've already almost matched their 6-period total from last weekend. His icing there was waved off at the last second. Dino's going to bring it back the other way. Stopping up to the middle of the ice. Kruger got a piece of it to knock it away from a dangerous spot. Now Strange will just circle back. Pushed it to Lee, but it bounced away from him. Horning now. Horning, blind backhand pass in his own end. I don't think the coaching staff likes those too much. Didn't harm him though. Dinos, another blind backhand pass to the middle. You probably want to be careful with those a little bit, and you're at a point in this game where if you're the Dinos, you need to be uber cautious in your own end. As Thacker walks inside, outside, tries to go short side top corner, and couldn't beat Tedachuk. Back to my point, if you're the Dinos, you have to be very careful, because if you give up the next one, you're in trouble very early on in this hockey game.
Well, these Golden Bears are very much a momentum team. You can tell sometimes when they're slumping, they have a hard time finding it, but when they're rolling like this, they're going to keep shooting and they're going to keep finding the back of the net.
Thacker is irate that there was no penalty call on that play. Is a near miss for the Dinos down in the offensive zone. Rolled away from Max Stewart at the last second. Stewart couldn't cut to the middle, regroups, goes to Hammett, across, long wrister, stopped by Kruger, takes a whack, and that'll cause a little bit of a scrum in front. No love lost between these two teams. Worth noting, the Dinos shorthanded 29 times this season, most in the conference. Let's go back in this goal. Look how much, I know it's 4-on-4 hockey, but so much has to go right here. First off, great read by Laventure. Hall makes a great pass, but the other thing about this is Laventure calling for that puck while he's skating backwards and being able to keep full speed going the other way. Like, you got two Dinos defenders coming back hard on him there. I was impressed with how he was able to get up to top speed, keep it going, and again, a great feed by Hall.
Yeah, Hall passing it through two sets of skates to get up there. But as you mentioned, Laventure to receive that pass, do the 180 while keeping the momentum it's not easy.
And I think a lot of players too, if you're in Adam Hall's position there, you maybe just look up, you see a few bodies in front of you, and you think, I'll just throw it off the boards, try to bank it to the guys. That shot was stopped by Tedachuk, then sat dangerously in the slot. But I think a lot of guys would just, it's safe play, right? Don't turn it over, just get it up there off the boards. I like that Hall was confident enough to really seam that one through. We are back to 5-on-5, by the way, as the 2 penalties expired. Gustafson up to Jolly, rolled off of his stick. Lee to Schmidt. Schmidt with a bit of space, drags to the middle, and I think that one went off the side of the post, maybe side of the net. Didn't quite make its way onto Kruger. As Calgary will clear quickly and head right back in on the attack. Schmidt lost that one. Jolly had to be careful. Fluttered one over to Gustafson. That was 2 feet in the air when it went past him. And a close call there as the puck hopped over the stick of McGuire. Pacheco now will jump on a loose puck, pushing it into the zone. McGuire back to chase. Sexsmith. Sexsmith works past one man, down below the goal line, looking for somewhere to go, but gets pinned up to the boards by Anderson. No help comes for the Golden Bears, and that allows the Dinos to head right up ice. Hauer takes a low shot, trying to replicate that first Golden Bears goal. And arm up, penalty coming to the Dinos. So Kruger, well, he won't even bother heading to the bench as the Dinos quickly touch up. But I mentioned it, the most penalized team in Canada West is the Calgary Dinos. And they're giving the Golden Bears their first power play of the hockey game. It's a power play that last weekend went 1 for 4 on the season, 22%. That's good for 3rd in the conference. The penalty kill on the other side was very good last weekend for the Dinos, going 12 for 13. They're 86% on the year, 3rd in the conference.
Yeah, if you're Calgary, this is a huge kill, and if you're Alberta, this is a great time to find that power play.
Pedal to the floor, and there's a chance they score! Adam Hall knocking on the doorstep, makes it 3-0 for the University of Alberta.
Hall found his scoring touch this season, his 4th. A shot from Ward, and Tedachuk just slides way out of his net. Adam Hall, the product of right place, right time, buries that one. You can't miss that one. It would have been nearly impossible. 3-0 Golden Bears on the power play. Adam Hall, his 4th for the season.
There's a shot at Mark Howell, who, again, back-to-back games. As Mark Howell, and it'd probably take one more goal, but does he have a decision to make here when it comes to the goaltending?
Well, we've seen Tedachuk before. He's a steady goalie. He doesn't usually let things get to him, but his rebounds today have been incredible.
And we'll get another look at that goal in a few minutes here, but I think Tedachuk, when he watches it back, and he was taking a peek up at the big screen, I think he's going to be a little upset. Alberta looking for more. Mason Ward waits, drags, shoots, and it goes off the helmet of Tedachuk. He says he's fine. Dinos on the counter.
That'll wake you up.
Oh, yeah. Probably wasn't in a great mood before that shot rang him up high. Ward shovels it to Adam Hall. Drag, knocked down, Steinke. He gets thrown to the ice by Ward, who takes an extra shot at him. Here Ward, I mean, he sat twice in that one game against UBC last weekend, a couple of undisciplined plays. I don't think with a 3-0 lead you need to be giving Calgary anything right now.
Yeah, a lot of extracurricular stuff out there. Yeah. Some hits after the puck's gone, a couple little slashes. So I can see if the refs don't get a handle on this one at some point, it's going to get ugly.
This does not feel like an October hockey game.
No.
There's a long stretch pass, a real nice play up the ice. Calgary will just dump it in, looking for a change. Thacker. How about this for a stat, Pat? Last year in that playoff series between these two sides, Only 2, and here's a look in front, a big save by Ethan Kruger. Only 2 of Alberta's goal scorers from that series are still with the team. Thacker and Conrad Belcourt had one in that playoff series. There's a shot that goes just wide.
You got to wonder, I mean, Alberta obviously riding a little bit of anger from last weekend, getting shut out 0 for 2 against UBC, and Calgary maybe coming into this one thinking Alberta was going to be a little bit weaker than last season with all the missing players and whatnot. So Alberta just has something to prove tonight.
Sending a message early, absolutely. Kick save by Kruger, and a nice little play there by Sexsmith to just kind of let it go through his feet into the half wall, not trying to kick it or anything and risk a puck sitting in the slot. That misses McGuire, and now Duguay is going to have a step, and he'll be the first man on the puck. His line mates were changing, so not a ton of support for Duguay.
Great job to just hold it, kill it, keep in the offensive zone till you get some backup.
Lob out, and Massier just didn't see it on his right side. He's like a wide receiver heading downfield and just didn't look the right way. If he did, he would have kept skating. He's gone, and that's, I mean, a partial break at worst, I think. As Alberta's heading back the other way, McGregor liked him so far tonight. A couple of very noticeable shifts. Ruptash has a goal. He finds Davidson, takes a wrister, and Tedachuk will glove that one down.
Yeah, Calgary running around just a little bit, puck watching. The puck's just not seemingly bouncing in their direction. They're kind of chasing the game a little bit, so I'm assuming they're going to want to take a minute or two to calm down between periods if they can and just play their game. It feels like they're doing a lot of head hunting, if you will, as I mentioned with the extracurriculars. Just get back to your game.
Going to redo that face-off. 7:07 to go in the first period. Alberta holding an edge on the shot clock. 12-7, 3-0, where it really counts. A great start for the Golden Bears. Off the draw to catch with a couple of good physical plays. Now we have a pile up in the corner. It's flung around. Yakimchuk has some time as he steps in from the point and then throws a soft feed to Pacheco that was knocked away by Lee. Davidson turned over, but not for long, as Tkach now has a chance to get his boots going, and he can fly when he gets going. Here's Tkach inside. Oh, what a move. Tkach, what a goal! Gleb Tkach! A beauty, splitting through every dino on the ice, and it's 4-0 Alberta.
There's so much to analyze on this one. To catch his second of the season, second as a Golden Bear, and it is a beauty. As you mentioned, he puts the boots on, walks right around Strange, and just undresses Tedachuk. Sprawled out, he roofs that one, and that was all Gleb to catch.
4-0. We're not even 14 minutes into this one. All Alberta.
We're certainly going to have to take another look at that one. This crowd is stunned. That one had everyone on their feet.
Behind the net, long pass up the ice, chipped in by Hall. Calgary, I mean, how about this for a line to say in the first period? In desperation mode, I think. You probably really want to get one here before the end of this period. Hall spins and just heaves one down the ice. It hops over one Dino defender. Now Peterson will knock it to Thacker. He scores! 5-0 Golden Bears.
Well, the crowd is loving this one. I don't think anyone had this on their bingo card. Peterson with a beautiful kick up to his stick, back pass, and just so much time in front of the net for the Golden Bears. Yeah, we're going to get a goalie change here. Carl Stankowski coming in for Tedachuk. I don't blame him. I feel like Tedachuk He made a couple big saves, maybe felt a little bit shaky, and I don't blame the goalie change, but not all those are his fault. But I can't believe I'm saying this. 5-0 Golden Bears. 5 left to go in the first.
Full credit to this Golden Bears team. Every grade A look they're getting, they're depositing right now against the #1 defensive team in Canada West. A 5 spot in 15 minutes. I'm not great at math. That's an average of a goal every 3 minutes. Here comes the Dinos looking for a response, and Dawson Davidson just knocks it right away. Yakimchuk. Davidson. Goes to catch. Alberta playing pass in their own end here. Davidson out of the reach of Yakimchuk. Drop back to catch, looking for more, and that's a tough first save to make for Carl Stankowski. Low blocker, and he somehow got a piece of it. To catch, he's flying. Davidson now tries to just send a low slapper on net, got blocked. He still worked it down low, but then went off for a change. That'll allow Lee to push it up to center ice. High lob into the corner. Dino's got a change. Hall, right as he steps onto the ice. That was a clean looking line change there. Something broadcasters don't compliment enough, Pat. Everyone loves to roast a line change when it's too many men. How about a good line change?
A great line change on the fly. Nothing can beat it.
Offside.
What a tough situation for Carl Stankowski to be in, coming in relief. The Golden Bears obviously firing right now. Here's another look at that last goal. Peterson kicks it up, back, and just for Thacker to bury that one. I mean, Tedachuk's a good goalie. Everything seems to be going in for the Golden Bears right now, but to be alone in that spot right in the slot, I mean, Thacker, one of the best shooters on the Golden Bear, he's going to bury that one 9 times out of 10.
Sexsmith leaves it for Popowich, who's going to get past his man, throw a pass right up the middle, though. Here's Fry off the turnover, and look at that from Popowich getting in the lane. Call that a guilty block. You make the turnover, you better be ready to sell out like Popowich just did. Makes up for it, knocks away the scoring chance. Some shoving in front. Belcourt gets it up to Laventure. Icing's going to be waved off here. Dinos heading up ice. Stewart pushed by Yakimchuk and then just lost the puck. Here's Davidson. Handful of sticks whacking away at it. Anderson now has it. Chip to the middle of the ice here. Stewart inside out. A little bit of space now for Stewart, who's going to take a shot. And I think Davidson got a piece of it as it deflected over top of the net. Anderson with a good keep. Puts it into the corner. Stewart and Yakimchuk converge. Hall turned over, and Davidson couldn't get a stick on it. A chance in front. They whack away. It just goes wide. Not sure if Kruger was forced to make a save. He had to bounce around the blue paint quite a bit. Puck stays out. Drop back. Strange. Wrister. Kicked aside by Kruger. It'll sit behind the net for Yakimchuk. Yakimchuk to Peterson. That's a soft chip out to the middle. Right to a Dino. Calgary's right back on it. Peterson. Out of the reach of Ruptash. It'll go for icing.
Ethan Kruger looking calm and collected right now. He's really only had the one tough shot that he blockered away. But I mean, there's nothing like a 5-goal cushion to ease those nerves coming into this one. So he's pretty relaxed, but he's been good so far.
Face-off one back by Calgary. Shot goes just wide. Hammett lost it. Clean breakaway. Ruptash all alone, looking for 6. Big save, Stankowski. Whew. That is a big, big stop by Stankowski. A goalie who had to come in midway through this period. Turned over. Hammett. Shot kicked out to the slot. Ruptash is on that one. Can he get it out? Yes. Under 90 seconds to play in the first. Duguay kicks it over. Ruptash will punch it into the zone. Reverse hit on Kirkpatrick. Blows him up. Gustafson from the half wall. Kicked aside. Hammett to the middle. Good stick by Gustafson. Knocked it away from Schmidt. Gustafson, final minute of play here in the first. And what a first it's been, as that'll trickle down the ice and icing Pacheco with a valiant effort.
It'll be interesting to see how the Golden Bears play this one for the final 40. If they keep pressing, if they play it defensively. I feel like the extracurriculars have slowed down a little bit. Calgary kind of deflated in that sense, but they're going to need that top line. Kidd, Poole, Bacala, Stewart, they're going to have to find something here. Maybe not this period, not a lot of time left, but there's still 40 minutes on the clock.
Kidd, Poole, and Stewart, that top line, all three of them in the top 10. They're actually all three of them are 7th or better in scoring in Canada West. So if any team can erase a monumental deficit, it'd be Calgary. Here's another look for Alberta. Duguay seams one across, gets it back, and couldn't quite get enough of the rebound. In front, Pacheco off to the side. Belcourt, Sexsmith, shot blocked by Poole, and that looked like an uncomfortable block shot as Sexsmith then steps up on him. Dinos just go off for a change with under 20 seconds to go. To catch, turned over, under 10 seconds to go. Pushed into the corner. Sexsmith takes a peek at the clock, and he'll just take some contact and run out the rest of the opening frame here at Clare Drake Arena. 5 goals in the opening period, all of them for the home side. The University of Alberta Golden Bears stunning the #1 team in the conference early on, and they'll take a comfortable lead into the first intermission. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. He's Patrick Puff. You're watching Canada West Hockey on Canada West TV and tonight on CBC Gem. We're going to step aside for our intermission break and be back with second period action between the Dinos and the Golden Bears.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step. Get the straight
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally caught up and receive what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I didn't need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do, you can always come back to that, and it's a great groundbreaking message that, hey, we're in this together, and we did this.
This friendship has been happening since the 80s, and we still spend time together, and we enjoy each other, and we love each other. And so it's friendships that are forged for life.
These women's contributions extend far beyond the playing field. They laid the foundation for future generations, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and open doors for others.
When you started, built, or you advanced your sport, you were creating a legacy. You opened doors, you broke barriers for hundreds of athletes after you, and you weren't just doing what you loved for yourself, you were changing the world for hundreds of people that you didn't even know. So friends, thank you for being part of this program. I just want to ask if you could raise a glass to us.
emotional community. It sets you apart.
Like the number of laughs I've had with this group, the number of laughs I've had with guys that have graduated and moved on from our program, like those are all the it's the characters, right?
I'm really lucky to have that support team around me, and we all are, and it's great to be able to push each other and support each other to higher heights.
It's a great feeling to get that championship, but I think it's just an even better feeling that we get it here at home, right here at the U of A.
10 years from now, I hope I'm still wearing the same sweater, sitting in the same bleachers, cheering whatever team is on the field in green and gold.
Abby Soyko, she scores!
Want to know the recipe for a great time? Green, gold, and Sherlock Holmes. It's the place to be before, during, and after the game, and it's right on campus. We continue to be a proud sponsor of Golden Bears and Pandas Athletics. Everyone has a Sherlock story. What's yours?
University of Alberta Athletics would like to thank the Students' Union and its Legacy Fund dedicated to the Golden Bears and Pandas for the continued support of our program.
To Harp, Carey. She's going to try for her 8th three-pointer of the game, and she hits it. The bench erupts. Good hustle from Trinity once again to keep it alive. Reed and Weeb.
Wow, what a play from the Bears there.
Moves up the rush with them. Here's Blue, drop back. Adam Hall touch scores! Adam Hall! Step one.
Deep's got a man wide open. Touchdown! Golden Bears! Colby Herford wide open. Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step. Top-notch horse, get the most, not the lizzo. Straight to
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally caught up and receive what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I didn't need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do, you can always come back to that, and it's a great groundbreaking message that, hey, we're in this together and we did this.
This friendship has been...
That is a view of Clare Drake Arena here in Edmonton, Alberta. Welcome back to Canada West Hockey on Canada West TV. Tyler Yaremchuk and Patrick Puff with you as we get set for second period action between the University of Calgary Dinos and the University of Alberta Golden Bears. And that first period, Pat, all Golden Bears, and it started early. First as a Golden Bear for Dylan Ruptash, and Alberta just kept pouring it on from there.
Well, we talked about how important that first goal is. Get the confidence, get the crowd going, got the team going, obviously, because the floodgates opened up. There was some rough stuff in the first period that kind of calmed down as the goals started rolling in. But these Golden Bears are certainly feeling it today, and I guarantee you the Dinos were not expecting this type of push from Alberta right out of the gates. But now they find themselves down 5 goals in a game with 17 shots against. And we were doing some math in the intermission there. In Calgary, if you add it up, averages 20.1 shots against per game so far this season, and with Alberta already at 17, they were not ready for that push.
That is quite the remarkable number. We were not exaggerating when we called the Dinos the #1 defensive team in the conference, but if you just watch this game, you wouldn't know. It's a new goalie between the pipes for the Dinos than the one that started this game, as Carl Stankowski came between the pipes in relief in that first period. Carl Tedachuk exits after allowing 5 goals against, which will put a dent in his sparkling goals against average. It's now up to 370. It was like 2.2 coming into this game. So again, we can keep going with the numbers, and we probably will as we continue this broadcast, but a big offensive outburst by the University of Alberta Golden Bears. Here's the rest of the schedule around Canada West. Mount Royal is in Manitoba to take on the Bisons. Regina in Saskatchewan. It's rivalry weekend in U Sports. Trinity Western at McEwen over at the Downtown Community Arena here in Edmonton. All of those games underway at the same time. We'll have a scoring summary for you maybe a little bit later on here in the middle frame. In the meantime, Alberta looking to add on to this 5-0 lead. Looking to stay aggressive as Kidd touches that one and sends it in. They're going to say that's icing. Ooh, Kidd, I thought, got a piece of it. Not a lot of arguing for a little bit of a conversation there from the Dinos captain with the linesman, but face-off will come all the way down into Calgary's zone.
Yeah, goalie, a tough position. I mean, just for reference, Tedachuk only 7 goals against in 4 games coming into this one. As you mentioned, gonna ruin some of his stats there, but he didn't get a whole lot of help from his defenseman, a couple breakaway opportunities, so it's definitely not all on him, but when you're just not feeling it, it's one of those positions where it's just not there, it's just not there.
And there's a turnover in front, and almost a dangerous one. Or it was a dangerous one, but it didn't hurt the Golden Bears, and they get a little lucky there as an errant pass forces Calgary to regroup. Strange on his backhand, knocks it over to the middle. Here's Kidd. Kidd will shove a backhander down low. Him and Yakimchuk race onto it. Good play by Yakimchuk, and then Alberta just sends it down and ices it. So they all got to stay on the ice. Golden Bears, that is. And we'll do a ozone draw here for the Dinos.
And I expect a push from the Dinos. They probably had a good talk in the locker room between the first and second there, and they're not going to want this to get any worse or any uglier than it is. They're going to want to protect their, I mean, I call him a backup, but just for tonight, Carl Stankowski, and they don't want his numbers to go down either. So at this point, it's going to be a big push from Calgary to start this period to try and swing the momentum.
Icing waved off at the last moment. Here's Ward at the top of the zone. Drops it back. Gustafson a shot, and Stankowski's all over that one as it goes right into his breadbasket.
I'm sure Stankowski will take shots from there all night long, but it's going to take a couple of those. No rebound. Allow your defense.
And arm up immediately off that draw as the Dino was knocked down. Brody McGuire got knocked down right off the face-off, and Alberta's going to send a man to the box and in turn send the Dinos to their first power play of the game. Power play that ranks second in the conference at 29.2%. Went 2 for 7 last weekend against Manitoba. Golden Bears best power play in Canada West, 91.7%. A very solid 10 for 12 last weekend, but they've been good on the PK early on as Kidd snaps a shot. Rebound goes just wide. A yawning cage for Jake Poole that he couldn't finish off.
That's the story of tonight for Calgary so far. Jake Poole's not going to miss that one often.
Popovich sends that one down the ice. Stankowski out there to play it. Kidd jumps around that one. Calgary looking to get set up. In front, Stewart, space, grabs one and fires it right into the glove of Kruger, who snares it and holds on.
A great positioning by Kruger on that one. Got out the top of the crease there, and Stewart had all kinds of time to pick the spot he wanted.
No space.
Kruger just stared it down and flashed a little bit of leather.
Far side, Poole holds in a clearing attempt. Good stick there by Sexsmith, but the puck still dribbles to Kidd. Calgary held below the goal line, and that one is sent down the ice. Deflection found a Golden Bear. Under a minute to go here in the penalty kill. Kirkpatrick barely onside as Schmidt was tumbling down and sliding across the blue line. Kidd now spins. He's the conference's leading point scorer. Knocks it back to the line. Strange, D to D. Long wrister. Good block there by Yakimchuk. Davidson backpedaled away too far from it. Poole down low. Dinos, another shot, and Kruger again into the glove as he tosses it into the face-off circle.
You mentioned Adam Kidd leading the league, 4 goals, 7 assists in 7 games, but Dawson Davidson of Alberta caught up to him today. 11 assists, 2 tonight, now tied for league lead in points.
Wow.
As a defenseman.
Good catch. I mean, that's something. That's quite the stat line too, 0 and 11. Laventure tried to pin himself to the boards but couldn't. Hall now tries to walk around a couple of Dinos, turned over. Here's Lee, drops it for Schmidt. Almost a mini 2-on-1 for the Dinos, but it didn't quite materialize. Wilson across, slung to Lee. Lee, and that one again swallowed up by Kruger as the penalty expires.
That almighty penalty kill for the Golden Bears, doing a great job of keeping Calgary to the outside. Going to improve their stats on that one. As you mentioned, 91.7% coming into this one, and you can see why. Ethan Kruger, certainly a big part of that.
Goalie's always got to be your best penalty killer.
Yep.
Back to 5-on-5, 16:46 remaining here in the opening period. Sexsmith drops it back for his partner Belcourt. Dumped in onto Kruger, who will just knock it softly into the corner, and Alberta will try the breakout once again. Oh, look at that reverse hit. And there's the undisciplined penalty from Sexsmith. You already got your pound of flesh with the reverse hit, just leave him.
Yeah, the cross-check certainly unnecessary when he was already on the ground. He had out time to play the puck there too, but decided to go for the extra one in front of the student section.
Mentioned the Dinos as the most penalized team in the conference. Alberta not far behind, 4th most in the conference. Yeah, that's
completely unnecessary.
Yeah, and I mean the ref's right there, and all the attention's already on you because of the hit. You got to learn to skate away there.
Yeah, if the play's going down the ice and already at the red line, you might get away with that. Not that it was necessary in that scenario either, but with the, like you said, the puck sitting right there, ref 2 feet away, you're not getting away with that one.
That one rimmed around and down the ice. So once again, the best penalty kill in the conference will go to work. I mean, sure, if Alberta could just ice the puck every single time for the rest of the game, they'd probably take that up 5-0, but being down a man, not ideal. Here's a toe drag. Great look. Kruger stops it. Rebound, and he kept the rebound out as well. A stick blew up. Another one went flying, but all that matters for Kruger is that the puck stayed out.
That was a bit of a crazy sequence. 3 sticks on the ice, 1 in pieces, a great toe drag, and he gets the rebound as well, but Cougar able to stop that one. Couple more chances for Calgary all of a sudden. Their big players pool with a good opportunity there.
Pays off one back. Here's Kidd. Kidd fakes a slap shot, goes across, they score! Jake Poole finds the back of the net. His 4th on the season. Power play marker, and Calgary's cut the deficit to 4. Great feed across ice here.
A great job, head up through 2 guys, and not a whole lot that Kruger can do on that one. That is fully east to west with a good sniper on the other end of it with Jake Poole, and you mentioned his 4th of the season. That's going to boost his numbers up. 4 goals, 6 assists, and the first goal finally breaking the egg for Calgary. I'm sure a sigh of relief on the bench, but they still have a long way to go.
Thacker throws one onto his own net. Oh boy, as the Dinos are looking for more. Strange jumps on that loose puck. They continue to whack away at it. Calgary couldn't get a clean look off. Horning shot wide. Lee, that play broken up by Davidson. A good play by the Golden Bears defenseman, and Peterson now will just hit the line, throw into the corner. Thacker drags his foot and goes to chase after it. Stankowski was there to stop it and ignite a breakout for the Dinos. Let's see if that goal gives the Dinos a bit of a spark. Ward tried to lay the body. Dinos walked around that one. To catch. Turned over. Hand pass waved off. Here's Hammett. Goes D to D and then gets it back. I mean, if Alberta can score 5 in short order, so can the Dinos, as icing waved off. Steinke knocks it around. Top of the zone, Horning. Horning rimmed, goes all the way to his partner Hammett, who was pinching down. A sharp angle shot on goal that Kruger handled with relative ease. Now here's Gustafsson. Gustafsson to catch. It's in his feet. He spins a couple of times and then just in a panic shoots it out to the neutral zone, which again is probably the smart play. You're up by 4. A turnover in the neutral zone won't cost you. Turning it over at your own blue line, well, might. That one's sent down the ice out of the reach of Pacheco. Lee to the middle. Kirkpatrick heard the footsteps of Sexsmith and missed the puck. Now here's to catch. Sends that one in, goes just past Wilson. 6 minutes are gone by here in the second period. Lee knocks it back. Up the ice to Kirkpatrick, jumps around his man. Put a little bit too much on it. And then it goes up and out of play. No one saw it except for me, I guess. That definitely hit the mesh.
Yeah, we had a good angle of that one.
I won't complain. One less stoppage as Calgary works it back to the line. Wilson has a jump over his stick and out of the zone it goes. Belcourt. Just taking a deep breath here, goes to his partner Sexsmith. Sexsmith fans on it, turned over. Here's Kirkpatrick. He's got Kidd going to the net. Can he find him? He does. What a save! Ethan Kruger bailing out his defenseman with a big stop. One-timer. Kruger gets another piece of it. We got goal of the year, maybe we got save of the year in this one, as Kruger came across to absolutely rob the Dinos. Then Sexsmith gets in the lane and blocks another attempt. Calgary has a little bit of a pep in their step here. Poole, pass to Strange, knocked back down low. Here's Stewart, top line for the Dinos on the ice here with some tired Golden Bears. Can they take advantage? A big block there by Belcourt. Poole has the first goal, gets it around, and a backhander from Kidd goes just over top of the net. Duguay just trying to buy some space, and he will. And then he turns it over, and Kruger can't hold on to it. It's on the side of the net, and finally we'll get a whistle.
A much needed whistle for the Golden Bears. You mentioned it. A tired group out there against the top line of the Dinos. A couple great chances. A couple mistakes for the Golden Bears. Sexsmith tries to get that one out, and there's the massive save by Ethan Kruger on the captain. And just a flurry of shots from Calgary in that one. You mentioned it. I mean, up 4 or 5 goals. It's easy to take your foot off the gas, but a team like Calgary, with such offensive threat, you can't do it. Golden Bears are going to have to be careful.
Davidson didn't have an outlet there. Eventually, Alberta's able to get it out, and Adam Hall will carry it all the way into the offensive zone. Go to Laventure, turned over once again. It's a much different looking period than the one we saw in the first.
You mentioned it as well, that the goal for Calgary sparked something.
To the middle, Ruptash's stick blew up on him. That was broken before the slash. So again, Davidson's just going to try to buy some time, flips it to Thacker. Thacker jumps around one man, shovels it up ice. Davidson pushes it down low. Hall looking for his man. It was Thacker going to the net, couldn't find it. Now Calgary will speed up the ice. It's Schmidt. Schmidt stops up, puts it in the corner. Hall, Justin Hall that is, skates onto it, then finds Thacker. Pass was in his skate. Wilson. Shot, what a deflection in front. Wow. Kruger with the good positioning though, kept it out.
Yeah, great save by Kruger. Hayden Bacala gets a stick on that one and directs it on net. Just a seemingly harmless shot from the point, but they say any shot's a good shot. That was a great tip, but an even better save by Kruger. Golden Bears need to find something here. Simplicity is key. Get it out. Maybe try and get a couple shots of your own and spend some time in the offensive zone.
Yeah. Behind the net. Gustafson with a good physical play. And this pairing does that well. And right there is a good example of why they like Blake Gustafson and Mason Ward together. Cycle-ending physicality. As that one pops out in front, Kruger's got to jump on it, and he'll get the stoppage.
Well, the shots have significantly swayed in favor of Calgary. Now,
that is quite the swing.
Now 22-18, but not surprising. I mean, one shot for the Golden Bears in this period, and it's a pretty good story of how this one's looked so far.
Yeah. In the corner, Ward pins his man up. Alberta won the drawback, but couldn't really handle it cleanly. In the corner, kick down low. Kirkpatrick, he gets shoved in hard by Ward. That's a penalty. And then there's the retaliation. They got to be getting both those. I mean, if Sexsmith gets called for a cross-check 5 minutes ago, that's absolutely a penalty as well. Ward got buried in the numbers after he buried a Dino in the numbers, and they're only calling one.
Yeah, you mentioned that retaliation. Usually something that gets called, especially when it's a hit to the head like that one. I'm sure we'll get another look at it, but it did look like Ward took a pop in the back of the head. Oh, there's a great angle of it.
Here it is coming around. Like, this is a penalty. I have no problem with that. Look at this. 3 strides in, and it's a cross-check to the back of a guy's neck. How are you not calling that?
It's got to be something there.
Alberta sends Calgary back to the power play, and if you're the Dinos here, You start to feel a certain way, I think, if you get one. Ruptash knocked it away from his man, and then that turned into a nice turnover that was forced by Ruptash, and he'll go off for a change. Calgary back. Dinos gain the zone, looking for their second power play goal of the game. Kidd up top, slap shot, looking back door, and it got deflected as it's sent down the ice. It got deflected. Kruger got a piece of it. I think it popped right up in the air and went wide of the net. A close call there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that one stayed out. I don't even think Kruger knew where it was after the second bounce.
Pass deflected to the top of the zone. Here's Strange. Strange to Poole. Poole back to the top now. Calgary moving it pretty well. There's a break, a quick shot by Fitzpatrick, and Alberta almost picked off that pass. Calgary couldn't quite take advantage of the break. Here's Thacker. He gains the zone. He's got a man going to the net. It's Davidson, and that pass was a bit too high for him. Top of the zone, not out. Not a high stick either, and that is offside. One call goes the Dinos' way, the next one does not. 28 seconds to go in the power play. 8:59 to go in the middle frame, and one that I'm sure is not going fast enough for Alberta.
Yeah, a couple giveaways in the defensive zone. Here's the one that popped up, and it just looks like Kruger got a little bit of it with the left pad, and it pops up over the net. But as you mentioned, a real close call.
.20 seconds to go now on the power play as the Dinos look for one more rush up the ice. Lee drops it back to Kirkpatrick. He can't gain the zone cleanly. Good job by Alberta right there. Down the ice, Gustafsson. Dying seconds of the penalty. Can Alberta fling one down here? No Dinos defender knew that Ward was coming out of the box, but Alberta just couldn't quite get hold of the puck. Everybody's jamming away at it down low. And that one got pushed out to the neutral zone. Dinos were changing D-men, so Wilson's got to hang back. Alberta will get in a change of their own with the forward group. There's Gustafsson. Gustafsson, long stretch feed, hit Duguay, and he got a piece of it, but couldn't quite grab possession. Duguay now leaves it for Ruptash, who throws it in front. He had Jolly going to the net, but couldn't connect. Davidson in a bit of a race, and as he usually does, he wins it. Here's Massier. He's got to wait for a teammate to tag up, eventually brings it in. Massier's no stranger to this rivalry either. One of the many veteran forwards on this Dinos team. Yakimchuk, a rookie defenseman in this one, so his first rivalry week game. It's sent down. Jolly pickpockets Hornet. Hornet takes a shot at Jolly. Jolly now comes away with the puck, at least for a moment, then it was turned over. Here's Massier. I always find it interesting that his name is so close to Messier and he wears 11. I wonder if that's intentional.
It's got to be.
Like, it has to be. Ruptash to the middle. Here's Thacker. Thacker knocks it to Hall. Hall tries to go with a big inside-out move on Brody McGuire. Couldn't complete it. Belcourt now to Sexsmith. Sexsmith will look, go to the middle, and pass got picked off only for a moment. Peterson using his big frame to shield away McGuire. He did eventually lose it though to Fitzpatrick, and he got forced down the ice. Sexsmith has Lee on him, pushed it to Belcourt, who was playing a little bit too tight to his partner there and almost didn't receive that pass. Peterson now leaves it for Hall. He overskates the puck. Now Peterson's got to hustle back. The D-men were changing. That's going to allow Stewart to skate onto it. Justin Hall carries it to the top of his own end, then to the red line, and Hall will just push that one down into the corner. 6:30 remaining here in the period. Dinos have grabbed a lead on the shot clock. They trail in this hockey game 5-1 thanks to 5 opening period goals for Alberta, but this middle frame, boy, scoreboard almost isn't doing it justice right now. All Calgary. Popowich spins that to Gustafsson. Here's Ward jumping up in the play. Ward walks around his man into the corner like a swim move almost. And then a reverse hit as well. Ward never afraid to play physical. He's got the puck now. looking for somewhere to go, just safely puts into the corner. Laventure was waiting for it. Laventure, stutter step back to the line, Gustafson. Gustafson, long wrister over top of the net. Laventure with a good play to keep it in as Kidd couldn't quite clear. Jolly. Kidd to the middle of the ice. How many times do we see net guards laying on the ice during games?
It happens a lot. I'm surprised the guys aren't using that new Under Armour or whatever.
Yeah, like
you
the
would
shorts
call
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I'm
see
surprised.
some guys in the NHL wearing those. There's a weird change by Calgary. It's going to be a breakaway for Kirkpatrick. In, shoots, pad save Kruger. That was very confusing.
And there was 6 guys on the ice for Calgary there for a while. Behind the play, mind you, but a while.
That change was very delayed.
It was very odd. They must have been playing with only 4 for a little bit because nobody came off.
I think that's what it was. I think they had too few on the ice, and obviously if you're Alberta, you're not paying attention to that. Anyways, that was almost a good break for the Dinos, and almost a goal that I won't say would have put them back in this game, but certainly would have made it an interesting conversation heading into the third. Hall pushes past his man, held up a little bit as Fitzpatrick dumps it in, and Pacheco's on it. Pacheco pushed it in. Thacker staying in front of the puck. As I think if you're Alberta, as much as you'd love another goal, the priority's not giving one up here late. Here's Howard. He'll make a spin, go to the middle, picked off. Popovich has it. Does he have enough speed to break in? No. Good play there by Horning. Here's Belcourt. Belcourt goes far side off the boards, and then with one hand he knocked it in. Hand up, that'll be a penalty against the Dinos. Hooking the call, Alberta's going to the power play.
Yeah, Peterson argued that one right away. He felt a bit of a tug, he goes down, and maybe a bit of a dagger for Calgary on this one. An opportunity for the Golden Bears to find some offense. Still only 1 shot in this period, so safe to say they'll hoping to find 1 or 2 here and potentially find the back of the net and even this period up.
Face off, won by Calgary, then a little Clare Drake bounce off the stanchion, heads down the ice. Alberta regroups. Second power play attempt of the game for the Golden Bears. They scored on the first one pretty quickly as well. Look at that move by Hall. Works his way in. Adam Hall tried to fling it to the far side. Felt like he had Stankowski maybe overcommitting a bit to his post. Here's Popovich now over. One-timer. Great save, Stankowski. Ward now off the feed from Davidson. Drops it back for Davidson. Davidson waits. Shoves it to Laventure, who overskated it, missed it, and he's going to go to the box for interference. Laventure couldn't connect on the one-timer, and his options were basically take your guy or give him a breakaway. So we'll play 4-on-4 here for the next minute 14.
Yeah, I mean, Laventure misses that puck, and as you mentioned, doesn't have a whole lot of options. I think you take your chances with the penalty kill. I mean, you're going to be 4-on-4 for a minute of it. I think that's probably the right play.
Wilson pushes it down. Wilson now across. Lots of ice as Kruger's shot gets stopped, and Sexsmith had to be careful with what he did with that rebound as it came in hot to his shin pads. 2:44 to go in the period. Kruger, whoa, that's a risky one too.
One-handed.
Turned over. There's a hit by Belcourt. Alberta just trying to get possession back here, and then that pass gets turned over as well. Anderson takes a high stick from Gleb to catch. Stakach didn't keep his stick down, and the Dinos here, if they're smart, they let Alberta touch this thing. If you're Alberta, let them skate around with it. There's the whistle. So just as seemingly as quickly as they were on the power play, Alberta's going to find themselves down a man. It'll be a 4-on-3, the always rare 4-on-3.
Not something these teams probably practice a lot, but a lot of firepower on both ends. I mean, Calgary, see who they're putting out here. Stewart, Strange, their leading scorer, Kidd, and Jake Poole. Lots of ice out there. This is going to be a big moment for Calgary to get on the board and an opportunity at potentially, if they score quick enough, still having a power play.
There's a break as a face-off is 1-2 cleanly. 20 more seconds here, and then it's a 5-on-3. And a moment that I do not think is a hyperbole to call a pivotal one in this game. Kidd. Dinos just kind of stuck in neutral here. Flip to the middle. Here's Poole. Drags and shoots. And, man, Kruger's been good in this second period here.
And he's needed to be. Not a whole lot of help.
Hall pushed it to the neutral zone. Dinos on a 5-on-3 here for the next 40 seconds. Middle, Poole, big shot, big save. Kruger sent down the ice, and that's a massive clear by Mason Ward. Lee, he'll gain the zone. Look to get set up. And Strange misplayed it, couldn't handle the pass. Another break for the Golden Bears there, as time is dropping off this 5-on-3 power play. Maybe Alberta's penalty kill can give them some momentum here. Late in the period, big one-timer by Lee, and Kruger again read it perfectly, sliding out to the top of the blue paint. Back to 5-on-4 as that shot goes right into the glove of Kruger. Couple of big saves by Ethan Kruger.
Yeah, Kruger's been certainly the best penalty killer in this one, and a couple good opportunities from Calgary, but also a couple mishandling of the puck situations, allowing Alberta to clear, but good pressure from Calgary nonetheless.
Down low. Dinos looking to get set up. 45 on the period, 45 seconds remaining in the period, 30 now remaining in the power play. Pakala across to Lee. His shot goes over top of the net. Belcourt knocks his man down, and he chases Hauer around a little bit. Good stick by Sexsmith. He intercepts a pass, and then he gets it down the ice. A nice play by the Golden Bears defenseman. I'm considering this an act of service for our cameraman Troy. It's 5-2 Blue Jays.
And if you were recording at home, sorry.
I'm so sorry I did that to you, yeah. I could have said spoiler alert. Also, my advice to anyone who complains about two games at the same time, buy a second TV. That goes up and out of play right at the buzzer. It's 5-1 in the game you're watching as the Golden Bears continue to hold on to their decisive lead over the Calgary Dinos. A second period that at times was looking a little hairy, Pat, but Alberta will come out of it with a 4-goal advantage. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. He's Patrick Puff. You're watching Golden Bears hockey on Canada West TV and CBC Gem. We'll step aside for a quick break, for our intermission break, and we'll be back with third period action between the University of Calgary and the University of Alberta.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step underground with thoughts. Top-notch hoes, get the most, let the lips off. Straight to
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally caught up and received what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I didn't need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do. You can always come back to that, and it's a great groundbreaking message that, hey, we're in this together and we did this.
This friendship has been happening since the 80s, and we still spend time together, and we enjoy each other and we love each other. And so it's friendships that are forged for life.
These women's contributions extend far beyond the playing field. They laid the foundation for future generations, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and open doors for others.
When you started, built, or you advanced your sport, you were creating a legacy. You opened doors, you broke barriers for hundreds of athletes after you, and you weren't just doing what you loved for yourself, you were changing the world for hundreds of people that you didn't even know. So friends, thank you for being part of this program. I just want to ask if you could raise a glass to us. 48 years, not 38 years.
exceptional community. It sets you apart.
Like the number of laughs I've had with this group, the number of laughs I've had with guys that have graduated and moved on from our program, like those are all it's the characters, right?
I'm really lucky to have that support team around me, and we all are, and it's great to be able to push each other and support each other to higher heights.
It's a great feeling to get that championship, but I think it's just an even better feeling that we get it here at home, right here at the U of A.
10 years from now, I hope I'm still wearing the same sweater, sitting in the same bleachers, cheering whatever team is on the field in green and gold.
Abby Soy, go! She
Want to know the recipe for a great time? Green, gold, and Sherlock Holmes. It's the place to be before, during, and after the game, and it's right on campus. We continue to be a proud sponsor of Golden Bears and Pandas Athletics. Everyone has a Sherlock story. What's yours?
University of Alberta Athletics would like to thank the Students' Union and its Legacy Fund dedicated to the Golden Bears and Pandas for the continued support of our program.
Signatovic to Harp, Carey. She's going to try for her 8th three-pointer of the game, and she hits it! The bencher ups. Good hustle from Trinity once again to keep it alive. Read and weave!
Wow, what a play from the Bears there.
Moves up the rush with them. Here's Blue, drop back. Adam Hall shot scores! Adam Hall! Step one.
Deep sky man, wide open! Touchdown! Golden Bears! Colby Herford! Wide open! Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step underground method. Top-notch horse, get the force, not the lizzo. Straight tempo.
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally caught up and received what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I didn't need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do, you can always come back to that, and it's a great ground-breaking message that, hey.
Welcome back inside Clare Drake Arena. A nice fall night here in Edmonton, and a nice fall night if you're a fan of the University of Alberta Golden Bears. A 5-1 lead through 40 minutes. The first period, all Golden Bears. They went up 5-0. The second period, all Dinos. And I guess if you want to pull a positive for the Golden Bears, it's that they really didn't let Calgary back into this game despite a wildly lopsided shot clock.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was all Golden Bears in 1, all Calgary in 2. 19-1 were the shots for Calgary in that second period. So they had more of a dominating period over the Golden Bears than that first period was. So I honestly think the Golden Bears are a little bit lucky that it's not closer right now, and they only let one in. That was the Jake Poole goal in the second period, because there was a flurry of opportunities for Calgary and a bunch of power plays where they could have capitalized. Ethan Kruger, though, stood tall and somehow managed to keep this a 5-point game.
Yeah, Kruger's the story of that middle frame. He was exceptional. A bunch of really, really solid saves. The one where he slid across was unreal, but even more impressive, just so many stops where he just kind of calmly got into position and didn't give the Dinos anything to shoot at. So as the Golden Bears take to the ice here, and we wrap up our second period highlight pack, which again, the camera was all kind of tilted one way in that middle frame. Basically for the whole game, the camera's just been pointed in that left side of the ice.
That is true. It's the busy crease. We'll see if that becomes true for the third here. But, I mean, we expected a push from Calgary in the second. We got it. I expect the Golden Bears are, they had a conversation of, hey, we took the foot off the gas. Let's get back to our game. Keep it simple. And, I mean, all they basically have to do is stay on the defensive side of the puck, keep things nice and easy. And, I mean, if there's no more goals in this one, they take away the win. So they don't need to push too hard, but they also can't let the foot off the gas.
(5-1) the score as we get ready for puck drop here in the third period. You're watching on Canada West TV and Game of the Week on CBC Gem. What an honor. As we have some more rough stuff here right off the beginning of this period, as Adam Hall and Jake Poole exchange a couple of friendly shoves, or not so friendly shoves, I should say. As the puck sent down towards Kruger, he'll play that off to Davidson. I think if it's an obvious key to victory here, Pat, but if you're Alberta, just no turnovers at the blue lines. I think if you just get pucks cleanly out of your zone and push pucks deep at the other blue line, probably going to be okay. Make the Dinos start at their own goal line would be a good plan, I think, as Strange sends that one in off the end boards. Yakimchuk will skate onto it and flip it to Adam Hall, cleanly out of his own end to the blue line, and they're offside. Bring the draw back out to the neutral zone. Out of town scoreboard. Let's take a peek here, Pat.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. Out of town scoreboard, the final Mount Royal versus Manitoba. Manitoba taking that one 4-2 at Grant McEwen. Trinity Western was visiting. McEwen up 3-1, 16:25 left in the third. And in Saskatchewan, taking on Regina 6-0 for Saskatchewan. 18 minutes left in that one.
Is that 6 different goal scorers as well in a 6-0 win for the Huskies, who are in all likelihood going to improve to 4-1 on the season as Kruger holds on to that puck. How about Manitoba? They're 3-2 on the season now.
2 goals for Hooker in that one.
Yeah, Johnny Hooker with a strong game. Gene Jr., he scored tonight for McEwen. We liked him when we watched him here at Clare Drake Arena. He had himself a really solid game. He buzzed around. So McEwen looking to hold on to that lead, and that would put them up to 3-1. So get them to 500. Here's a chance for Alberta. Jolien to catch, maybe a bit of a 2-on-1. Quick shot by Jolien. Tried to throw it up by the ears of Stankowski, who held on.
Yeah, we haven't had to talk much about Stankowski, only facing one shot in that second period, but there's another big one, and it's tough to come into a game like this. Here you see the standings.
Manitoba 3-2 now. So that win over Mount Royal puts them in a tie with Mount Royal with the game in hand, too. Face off, one back by the Dinos. Nice play there by Belcourt to step up and use his boot to keep it in. Belcourt to Sexsmith. To Catch. Catch pushes it up. Jolly nudged off that one by Fry. That one knocked out of the air. That's another good play by Belcourt, but his stick broke in the process. He gets one from Pacheco, and Pacheco will scurry off the ice as the Dinos were changing, so that could have been probably a bit of a worse break for Alberta, but weren't exactly a lot of Dinos applying pressure. Thacker with a good play to break up that clearing attempt. Tried to push it into the middle, but couldn't quite connect. And then Thacker able to come back, and good little bit of effort there by the Golden Bears forward. Offside, waved off, and then almost turned over again. What is it about the team that's going from your broadcast right to left?
There's something wrong with the right-hand side of the ice here.
Alberta comes over the third and looks nothing like they looked in the second.
You know, the term ice is tilted has never been more true.
Here's Yakimchuk. Down low to the goal line. Here's Hall. It's the first time they've had a cycle going. Long shot, they score! Justin Hall finds the back of the net. Alberta restores their 5-goal cushion.
I feel like that was just a matter of time for Justin Hall. He's been all over it in this game. You can tell he's been itching to get that second goal of the season. He rips that one through a ton of bodies. No chance for Stankowski on that one, I guarantee you. He didn't see that one for a second. Justin Hall, I mentioned his second of the season, only his 5th game. He's missed a couple, and he's got a scoring touch. We've seen it last year, 10 goals. And he pots another one, making this a 6-1 game for the Golden Bears.
That just takes a little bit of the edge off, I think. The Dinos were so strong in that second period, and again, if it wasn't for Kruger, this game is probably closer than, well, now it's 6-1, but this game goes into the third period a lot closer than 5-1, and you just get that one, a long range, kind of nothing burger shot from Hall that just finds a lane and goes in, and I think if you're Alberta, that makes it a lot easier to do exactly what Mason Ward just did and pump pucks in.
Yeah, get it across the red line, get it deep, and Alberta really good at forechecking. They got a lot of speed, so.
That'll get blown dead on a hand pass.
Take another look at that goal. Justin Hall gets it, spins it around the top of the circle, and he sees a ton of bodies in front of that, and he just fires that over the glove of Stankowski, who maybe was making a bit of an argument. It didn't look like there was a Golden Bear in his crease, so maybe he was just hoping that his defenseman could clear the area so he could see, but nonetheless, a great shot by Justin Hall.
Second of the season for Justin Hall as well. Yeah, shots on goals you can see on your screen there. 30-20 for the visitors. And I mean, hey, 29. This is almost like a weird inverse of what we usually see when the Golden Bears are blowing out a team. Because usually it's like, oh man, Kruger gave up 2 goals, but his save percentage was in the 800s because he only had 12 shots to face. And today, I mean, he's given up just the one. He's been excellent. He's got a good save percentage to go along with what's a blowout lead as that one goes on net and is blocked away by Kruger.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of action in that first period.
There's a chance in front as Laventure couldn't push it towards the net. Then an errant stick almost disrupted Fry as he's heading up ice with Massier next to him. McGuire dumps it in. Ruptash to the middle. Here's McGregor centering the Golden Bears' 4th line tonight. To the middle, and that was Yakimchuk going to the net. Aiden Yakimchuk looking for his first as a Golden Bear there. when you're a more shut-down style defenseman, 6-1 lead, that's a good time to jump up into the slot and see if you can make something happen. Push down low. McGregor has it go past him. Here's McGuire. Dealt with some pressure from Laventure. Yakimchuk pinched down as Alberta looked to just keep the Dinos hemmed in. Instead, that one will get sent down the ice, and the Dinos will be guilty of icing.
The Dinos feeling a bit of a pressure from the Golden Bears, and still that left-hand side of the ice. Didn't have a lot of options but to get that one out, and they'll have to stay out there. A little tired, probably hoping to win this face-off and get a change, but it's been a weird game with sticks as well. Lots of drop sticks, lots laying on the ice, getting in the way of pucks. It's been a weird one.
Gustafson holds it in, pushes it down below the goal line where Peterson's waiting. Spins away from one guy, works his way past another, comes to the top of the circle, and spins one more time for good measure. Gets it down to Thacker. Thacker, little reverse hit, finds Ward. Ward walks around to Dino. Now sits and waits in open space, goes to Thacker. Thacker back down low, Justin Hall. Hall in front, Gustafson one-timer, goes just wide of the net. Forced out. Ward heading down onto that puck as both teams get a quick change in.
Much needed change for Calgary.
To the middle of the ice, here comes Hall. Hall over the line, cuts towards the middle, splits or attempts to split the D, but a good little bit of physicality there, broken up. Popovich now takes a shot that goes just wide of the left-hand side of the net. Hall to the middle. Popovich skated onto that one. Intended target might have been Sexsmith, but we'll see if this works out anyways. Popovich goes around one man, gets hauled down. Alberta wanted a call. They're up 6-1, so there's not one coming. Laventure behind the net, behind the back feed, and a slick one at that, but it was just broken up and couldn't get to Popovich. This is a textbook how you play with a lead. Just keep the other team hemmed in their own end. Belcourt throws his man up against the boards. It gets rimmed around to Horning. Horning pushes that one down low. Top line for the Dinos out there. Puck squirts out of a little bit of a mini scrum cross ice. Dragged on his backhand. Here's Kidd. Flipped to his backhand and couldn't quite get it past Kruger. It goes up top and over the net. Couple of inside out flips there for Kidd.
You can see why he's the leading goal scorer on this Calgary Dinos team. 4 goals, 8 assists in 7 games. He's got hands.
Yakimchuk to Glebskach, who works it up to Pacheco. Look at that move by Pacheco, and then maybe had more space in front of him than he thought he did. Tried to force a feed over. Here's Poole now. Partial break for Poole. Fires one. It goes wide and off the glass. Pacheco's just going to knock it down and try to buy some time. Davidson to Yakimchuk. Turned over. Here's a chance for Schmidt. He scores. Off the turnover, Schmidt goes bar down, and it's 6-2.
These are the type of mistakes that often seem to come back and bite the Golden Bears. A giveaway in their own zone, a good chance to get the puck out, mishandled. And Schmidt, I thought he was going to look at the backdoor pass, but instead he gets Ethan Kruger to bite, and he roofs that one onto the bar. 6-2. Still 12.5 to go in this one. Closing the gap just a little.
Again, makes that Justin Hall goal feel even bigger, right? Just that little bit of wiggle room, and the other thing is you've now almost melted 8 minutes off the clock as that goes to the middle of the ice via the paddle of Stankowski. Now Gustafson's got to chase after it with Schmidt, and Schmidt gave him a slash and then a shot, and this should send Alberta to the power play. We'll see if they call anything else here as some fists fly down behind the Alberta net. It's a little frustration there from Schmidt.
We'll get another look at that. Gustafson in his face, but a huge right from Schmidt out of nowhere. After scoring his first of the season as well. Good job by Gustafson not to retaliate on that one. Knowing the team's up, knowing you have an opportunity to kill 2 more minutes off the clock. You know, you take a punch like that, easy to blow a fuse, but he stays calm. Even had a couple gestures pointing towards the penalty box.
Calgary with the first clear off the face-off. Thacker gets a little physical there with Poole to win that battle. Here's Sexsmith. Will he do the drop play? He will. I can read it. Thacker, he'll carry that one in and makes a nifty little move to get the zone. Thacker to Sexsmith. Sexsmith takes a wrister. It goes up and out of play, and we'll get a whistle and a face-off inside the Alberta zone.
Yeah, that drop pass becoming a little too popular. Used a lot in the big leagues, and for good reason. It works. Allows the player to come in with speed, gives them a couple options. And the defense, they got to be wary. They can't be stuck standing still with that player coming in full speed.
Thacker off the face-off, a little scramble draw. Alberta gets possession off it. Here's Hall. Hall floats his way below the goal line. Justin Hall back to Sexsmith. Sexsmith puts into the feet of Hall, and he'll skate down low with it again. He's trying to find Thacker, and then the puck just kind of rolled off his stick as he was doing that. He then got knocked down. And now Stewart will send it to the top of the zone. Thacker stepped up, made a play, will hold possession for a moment, and there is a whistle. Hand pass the call.
Only 2 shots for the Golden Bears. One, the goal from Justin Hall, and another one on the power play, but this period has still been a little more Golden Bears, at least more than the
Here's
second.
a look. Fitzpatrick shorthanded, in all alone, denied by Kruger. Another big one for the Golden Bears netminder as he stops a shorthanded breakaway. Popovich now in on that one. Davidson was the one who carried it into the zone. 6 players all meet up down below the goal line. Who's going to come away with this one? It's Alberta. Ward flutters one across to Laventure. Laventure to Ward. Ward waits, pulls it to his backhand, and then had to stop up as Horning made a nice play. Laventure couldn't hold the zone as the pass from Ward was out of his reach. And now here comes Laventure making a move inside. Drops a backhanded feed to Hall. We're back to 5-on-5, so the power play is over. Alberta will fall to 1-3 with the man advantage. Here's Ward. Ward protecting it off Fitzpatrick and then throws him down to the ice, and he's going to go to the box. Ward's going to get dinged, roughing the call, and he'll sit for 2 as the penalty parade continues in this hockey game.
Ward's a big body, doesn't take much for him to throw someone down. He gets a little tangled up, and I think it's that extra shove right there at the end. Doesn't play the puck, could have walked away from it, gives one extra shove, and that's going to put the Dinos on the power play. 10 minutes left on the clock here. The Dinos already have a power play goal on this one. Let's see if they can get another.
Off the draw. McGregor had his stick held up, so he couldn't finish the clearing attempt. Now here's Kidd, captain of this Dinos team. Kidd puts it back to the point. One-timer by Strange, and not quite sure if that got through to Kruger. Either way, it stayed out. Poole puts it back to Strange. McGregor was taking away the middle of the ice, so he pushed it to Stewart. Stewart down low, here's Poole. Poole in front, and a one-timer that didn't quite get fired off cleanly. I believe it was Hauer who took the attempt. Hauer now has it as the Dinos get set right back up. Justin Hall with an aggressive play shorthanded. He'll push it up to McGregor, who can't finish the clear. Poole takes a shot. Thought maybe he had a bit more of a screen. Kruger saw it the whole way. Here's Stewart. 50 seconds gone on the power play. It's basically all been in the Alberta end, and there's the first clear for the Golden Bears as they'll get 4 fresh skaters on the ice. One of them is Pacheco as he pestered a Dino there. Fitzpatrick will take a shot, and it's kicked aside by Kruger. Gustafson, a hard backhander down the ice. I can't shoot a puck forehanded that hard.
Yeah, Kruger doing a great job staying on top of his crease tonight. He's out, he's aggressive, it's working really well. Easier to do when you're up by a couple goals, but nonetheless, he's executing it perfectly.
Gustafson with another good play at the line, but it didn't quite get out. 30 seconds to go on the power play, 8:30 on the game clock. Pakala, far side, wrister, stopped once by Kruger. Rebound is underneath the Golden Bears netminder, and he'll hold on for a whistle.
It just goes to show, too, how big that save on the short-handed breakaway was. If it's 6-3 right now and you got a full power play, it would have looked a little more intense, a little more dangerous. Calgary with some good looks in this one. Jamming away at that. Kruger stops it, but only 23 seconds left to put one home on this one.
Face off to the right-hand side of Kruger. It's one to the side by Alberta. Pakala drops it through his legs to Schmidt. Schmidt's had a good third period here. He's been noticeable. Forced out. 10 seconds to go now in the penalty kill for Alberta. Dinos are back on side. Brendan Lee cuts to the middle. Drops it back. One-timer. Goes wide. Back to 5-on-5. Another big milestone cross for Alberta in this one. Pakala. Far side. That's Wyatt Wilson. Fitzpatrick. Pass. Once again, a one-timer that Kruger's just in perfect position to save. There's a good block shot by Belcourt. Like Belcourt's game. In an offensive explosion, 6 goals. He's made some good keeps at the line. He's had a couple of noticeable block shots as well. As Hall forces a clear. Had to watch his stick there as Calgary continue to put on some pressure. Lee, top of the zone, Hammett. One-time slap shot that Kruger stops. And what do you think of that, eh? Kruger, he does it every time, but he does not want to hand it to a linesman or hold on to it. He gloves it, here's the whistle, hucks it somewhere. He doesn't care where. Get it out of here.
I like it, especially in a game like this. It shows a bit of personality. A great shot from Calgary there. See you later, puck, says Kruger, but I know, I was thinking too in that sequence, a couple more missed nets by Calgary, and I mean 38 shots already, but a handful of missed nets and good opportunities on one-timers and whatnot, so just not getting the bounces, Calgary today.
Jolly pinned up to the boards by Horning. Stewart grabs that loose puck, and with his backhand he'll get it up and out of the zone. Sexsmith, lone man back for the Golden Bears, so he'll just play it safe and get it up to Hall. Hall stopped it so it wouldn't go for icing, and then he'll send it to the middle of the ice to catch. That almost turned into a pretty nice little look there for the Golden Bears out of what was seemingly nothing. Ward sends it all the way up to Peterson, touches it to McGregor. McGregor tried to drop pass, eventually just got the puck back. And then was looking for Yakimchuk, but couldn't find him. Steinke. Peterson. Peterson to Hall. Hall lost it. Long wrister, looking for a deflection, pulling it out of traffic. It still sits loose in front. It goes just wide. Kruger with a couple saves, tight to his post to make one more. Another flurry of opportunities for the Dinos, and Kruger's just been turning them aside. That shot goes wide. Ward's tangled up in front with, I believe that's Steinke. Peterson now will just softly get a little bit of draw weight there as it won't go for icing. Pushing it in and going for a change. 5:30 to go here in the hockey game.
Peterson may be credited with a save or two in that sequence as well.
Yeah, he was right in the crease breaking up plays. Sexsmith goes to Belcourt. Belcourt to the middle of the ice, and he got his deflection, just didn't go to the right area. Hall. Belcourt with a good stick there, and look at Alberta. Hey, all 5 guys backing in the play there. Nobody's getting greedy. No one's lingering in the offensive zone trying to pad the point totals here tonight. Laventure, Sexsmith off the boards neatly. Laventure on it. Has to stop up as that one rolled into his feet. Golden Bears get some fresh skaters out there as Davidson regroups back into his own end. Yakimchuk up to Laventure, who's at the red line. Laventure hesitated a bit, then carried it in. Stick handled around a couple of Dinos. Takes a shot onto Stankowski. That was turned aside, and then the rebound fluttered back right towards the Dinos goalie. He'll cover up.
As you pointed out, Golden Bears doing a great job staying on the defensive side of the puck and not getting greedy, but that was a perfect example. Laventure recognizing he had an opportunity to skate the puck in on his own, stick handle a little bit, or I'm surprised they gave him so much room, but he's just using that opportunity to kill some time off the clock and even got a good shot opportunity as well. I mean, Stankowski up to the task, but not a lot of pressure from Calgary on that sequence.
Pacheco spins around and start to move his feet up ice. Makes a nice play around a couple of Dinos there. There may be a miscommunication with him and Jolly as it's turned over. Here's Jolly. Jolly flips it over to Pacheco. Pacheco will step around his man and pass it to no one in particular. It's a little bit of a brain fart there. It's one of those where, like, as it's coming off your stick as a player, you almost kind of know, like, no, stop, it's gone.
He was expecting Ward to skate into the zone there, but Ward, as we've been talking about, he's no need to force it right now. He's staying back.
3:30 to go here in the third period of play. Alberta up 6-2 is a win for them will improve their record to 5-2, and with that will tie them for that top spot in both the conference and the division. Icing is going to get called on that play. Now they're going to drop it at center ice here and realize their mistake. I like that the officials have the ability to do that. But you don't hand up on me. That was absolutely not icing.
I thought, too, it was real close to the Golden Bears bench here. I don't know if it hit someone. It could potentially be part of the conversation, too, but I believe you're right.
Gustafson pushes it into the zone. Thacker flutters it up, and Ward with a couple of whacks at it. Now here's a look for Peterson. Peterson, good toe drag, and he had Justin Hall streaking to the net, but the timing just wasn't right. Thacker off the turnover. Couldn't convert it. Puck found the way into his skates. Good play there by Peterson. He's been very, very good tonight. I mean, not a lot of Golden Bears who wouldn't fall into the very good category, as that's whistled for high sticking, but he's noticeable in all 3 periods, making some good plays.
And that's what they expected. Bringing him in. He's certainly lived up to the expectation on that top line with Justin Hall. The ref goes down. Hopefully he's all right. Smile on his face.
It's about the only time you'll ever hear the crowd cheer for the ref. Down the ice it goes, icing the call.
Shots now 41-21 in favor of the Dinos. Almost twice, which is crazy. The scoreboard obviously not showing that. Just a couple of nice shots in the first by the Golden Bears.
Dinos with a bit of a rush here, slamming on the brakes with Schmidt. He can fly, hey?
He's quick.
39 saves for Kruger. 40 saves for Kruger. He'll hold on to that one.
Yeah, safe to say Kruger won the goalie matchup in this one. Tedachuk just unfortunately not his night. I'm sure he'll be watching the film and wishing he had a couple of those back, and not all his fault, definitely a couple breakaways, but once those floodgates opened, it was hard to turn the ship around.
And again, like Alberta, just every good look they had, they found a hole, they converted on their chances, which hasn't exactly been the case for them all season. Even in the games they were winning, the offense wasn't exactly flowing in some of those nights, as there's a shot that goes just wide. Under 2 minutes to play here, Davidson pushes it in. Jolly fends off Strange. Ruptash spins and got it to the middle of the ice, but Popowich can convert, and Popowich now, as the hand pass is negated, top of the zone with some space. Here's Yakimchuk, his shot shrugged away by Stankowski. To the middle of the ice and broken up. These two teams will do battle tomorrow down in Calgary at Father David Bauer Arena as part of the home and home set. The women's side of this matchup also playing a home and home set, so they'll just kind of switch places, which again goes to my point of lots of miles on the buses for everybody. Hall pushes it back. Ward lost it, then got it right back as big D-man will carry it out and then just sort of regroup. He's fine melting a little bit of time. Hall has a whole bunch of dinos on him as that puck skitters off to the side. A decisive win tonight for the Golden Bears. It goes without saying when you look at the scoreboard. And again, like, can you maybe, oh, the second period wasn't good. Oh, that's a lot of shot for the Dinos. Kruger had to make some big saves. Like, yes, there are things they want to clean up. But for a team who coming into the year, there were no concerns about goaltending. There were not really any concerns about the blue line. The concern was, where are the goals going to come from? Alex Thacker and, well, I think we kind of are starting to see with a performance like tonight who the and is going to be for this Golden Bears team.
Yeah, the Hall brothers, obviously veterans on this team. They were able to step up today, and you know, you got some young players as well. Ruptash with a goal. Laventure has really stepped up this season. It's exactly what the Golden Bears needed.
A 6-2 win to kick off a rivalry week on home ice. Alberta decisively over their provincial rivals here on Friday night. They scored early and they scored often. Ethan Kruger makes 40 saves. He had himself a solid performance as well, and the University of Alberta Golden Bears have slid right back into a tie for the top spot in the conference. Pat, it's time for our unofficial 3 stars of the game. Who'd you like in this one?
I think you got to go Ethan Kruger at number 1. 40
Which is
saves.
Crazy in a 6-2 game, but like probably honest. Like, makes sense.
I know, and I'm not the kind of person who gives it to the goalie just to give it to the goalie. I genuinely think that was a performance. Who do you got at number 2?
Who do I have at number 2? I mean, you can go to the first period and all of the goals that came with it, as Joel Sexsmith, as he loves to do, knocks down the beer tower. That goal by Gleb Tkach has got to get him in the top 3. I would maybe put Tkach at 3. I liked Adam Hall on the PK. The funny thing about this is, I mean, Dawson Davidson had 2 assists. He should get an honorable mention, but like, it's not like one Golden Bear dominated the offense. That's what's so encouraging about this. It's Ruptash, Laventure, Hall, Tkach, Thacker, Justin Hall, the other Hall. 6 different goal scorers and like a bunch of different lines. Aside from Justin Hall and Davidson, no one was putting together multi-point efforts. Like, an impressive performance across the board.
Yeah, it was up and down the lineup, and even the guys that didn't make it on the scoreboard were noticeable out there. They all fought hard, lots of hard-hitting checks, and this Golden Bears team showed up tonight.
As the Golden Bears skate off the ice, we will say good night. For Patrick Puff, our entire production crew here at Clare Drake Arena, I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, signing off from Clare Drake Arena.